Hello, everybody. Just setting it up right now. Just posting. Give guys an opportunity to come on for a chat. Okay. So, there's a few things that I want to talk about. And if you end up watching this, you happen to be here live. I know it's late. It's a little bit late. I'd like to do a quick little hour and pump this one out. I think it's an important topic. False accusations against men. My understanding is that Andrew Tate has literally 20 minutes ago tweeted that he is going to donate $100 million to help defend men against false accusations. Andrew Tate, he's helping people out, helping the boys out. This is big news. But to start with, I would like to have a look at our own false insanity in Australia.
Lawyers for Bruce Lerman have accused former Liberal staffer Brittany Higgins of fabricating her rape allegation in a heated day of cross-examination in Canberra. Ms Higgins was also questioned about why she deleted photographs and text messages before handing her phone to police.
So she makes accusations against the guy. She gets put in front of the media as some sort of a victim, while men are dying in this country from actual threats, real problems. This insanity here, false accusations, the whole Me Too movement, it's out of control all around the world. And so she deleted vital information before handing her phone over to police. That's dodgy as hell.
Brittany Higgins says she was terrified and cleared her phones before handing them over to police last year after learning Peter Dutton had a baseline outline of her case before she'd even given an evidence.
So he had a baseline, already had an understanding of what the case was. And so what she deleted was going to conflict with that. Seems pretty incriminating to me.
In chief interview. The defence put to Ms Higgins that she sent data files to her partner David Shiraz, telling him, "I'm clearing out my phone ahead of the police." Becoming visibly upset under cross-examination, she told Defence Counsel Steve Whybrow, "I know how information flows in the ministerial wing. I was very, very scared, so I was seeking legal advice to know my rights."
Oh, she's scared. She's terrified. Because, well, women are seen not as adults in the real world. They're seen as perpetual children. I'm scared and I was terrified. So if a man says that, everyone will just go, man up, you pussy. But if a woman says that, even though she's making claims that can destroy someone's lives, she's the perpetual victim that everyone needs to baby.
It's because I was terrified. During the course of this week, Ms Higgins told the court she was bedbound despite assurances given to her ex-boyfriend and boss in a series of text messages that she'd go see a doctor following her alleged rape. Her emotional state, she says, left her unable to do so. The defence has seized on this, accusing the former Liberal staffer of fabricating the allegation that Mr Lerman raped her on a...
I believe it was fabricated. I believe most of these are fabricated. I believe also that most of the women that make accusations against men, they just have a beef with the guy. They don't like the guy and know that there's no consequences for attacking innocent men and ruining their lives.
Minister's couch in 2019. Steve Whybrow putting it to her, "The reason you didn't go to the doctor is because you didn't have sex with anybody on Friday night, consensual or not." Ms Higgins, growing agitated and on the brink of tears, fired back. "That is not true. Nothing you are saying right now is true, and it is deeply insulting. I wasn't coping with the fact that I had been raped by a colleague in my workplace." The defence ending the first week of the trial by trying to paint a picture of a young woman trying to sell her story, bringing up a $320,000 book deal organised by Peter Fitzsimons and offered to her in March of last year. That was
book deal, plays out that she's a victim, and then gets a massive payout by the government at the end of it. Outrageous. Why isn't she in jail? You make massive claims like this, she should be locked up in jail as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely disgusting. And I'm not sure how many other people. I think we need more red pill channels to be covering this type of insanity. So this brings me to the next part of this is white knights. Now, if you get into an argument with a woman, she just wants to impose her will on you. She can get in an argument with you, impose her will on you, and the general public will come to her defense, no matter how wrong she is. You can't have an even disagreement with a woman in public because people will jump to their defense all the time. White knights are always jumping to women's defense, and it's facilitating this female-dominated insanity that's happening in Australia. And I want to use this video as an example of something that I witnessed, and the way I recommend most of you real men out there behave when you see a man and a woman disagreeing. So listen to this. I was walking past this house, and I could hear a woman screaming at this guy. I think she was screaming at him, saying, "Get out of the room." I think she wanted the room, or she wanted to kick him out of the apartment, or something like that was happening. Like, I think she wanted to kick him out of the entire apartment from what I could hear. He was being relatively quiet. She was screaming her head off at him and demanding that he just does what she says, because in Australia, in the West, a lot of these nutcase women are above the law. They want to impose their will on you like dictators, the same way a lot of these psychopaths find themselves in they find themselves in the government. We become more authoritarian. Things get out of control, and it's treated as if they're in the right when they're totally in the wrong. We have to stand up for people's rights in this country. What I could hear, if we were to be fair, was one person abusing another person, threatening that person, telling that person to get out. The person who was being yelled at and screamed at was being relatively quiet and playing defense, while there was this extremely aggressive person, the woman, abusing this man. I stood out the front of the house and I listened, and I could hear her just abusing him. So the neighbors came out like a few doors up, and I asked them, I said, "Can you hear that? What are these neighbors like?" And they said, "This house is kind of colorful," they said. And we both stood together and we listened to her abusing him, and I recorded a bit, so I want you guys to hear it. I'll just film a little bit, just in case. It's kind of low, but you can just hear a woman's voice yelling at him. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. I'm not sure if you guys are can let me know in the chat if you can actually hear that. But what she's doing is she's like, "Get out of the room, get out now." And I think he's like, "Hey, leave me alone, go away." And then I could hear her, and you could see that she was the aggressor. She was yelling and screaming at him so loud that across the road we could hear it. And then she gets in his face. You could hear her yelling and screaming, and then she goes, "Oh, you touch me." So she was getting in his face, and then she's like, "Oh, oh, oh." as if like she's the victim. So what they do is they get in your face, yell and abuse you and like push you. But as soon as you push back, the woman's the victim, even though she's the aggressor. She lays her hands on him first. She's the violent one. She's the one that's trying to impose her will on him. So let's listen a little bit more, see if you guys can actually hear it. Did she say he's coming in an hour and bringing his gun? Fucking hell. Yeah, so you can hear what I just said. It sounded like she was yelling at this man and saying, "Get out." And he's like, leave me alone, pretty much. And then she goes, I'm assuming it's her boyfriend or some guy. She calls this guy and she's like, he's coming and he's going to bring a gun or something. And that's what we heard, or we thought we heard her say. And I turned to the neighbors. Did she just say he's coming and he's going to bring a gun? And so what I did was I confirmed that with the neighbors. And so she was the aggressor. You could see her being extremely threatening towards this guy. We were across the road. We could see in the window. She would go out on the veranda and be yelling. The whole street could hear her abusing him. And what usually happens in these situations is she's the aggressor. She's the violent one. She's the one trying to impose her will on this innocent man. She's the one that is the one that's using violence and threats against this person. Violent threats. Oh, I'm going to get some white knight to come and get you. And it happens all the time in the West. It happens all the time in the West. It happens all the time in Australia. You have white knights that are like, "Oh, I'll come help you out, girl. I'll come help you out." And so she's calling for backup to use this man as a violent weapon against this innocent man that, from what I could see, was innocent. And she had no right to use violence against him or threaten him or call up for backup. And so I recorded this, and I'm like, the neighbors walked by, the neighbors were witnesses as well. So this is a little bit of investigative journalism, proving how evil some women are and how they get away with this outrageous behavior. So what I did was I called the police. I called the police and I said, look, I heard her and the neighbors heard her as well to back me up. We heard this woman in this address threatening this man, abusing him, and she said that she's calling up some other guy, possibly her boyfriend, and he might be bringing a gun. So naturally, most men in Australia would take the side of the woman, and I don't understand this delusional bullshit. Under these circumstances, she's the aggressor. She's the violent one. She's the one acting out. And she has no right to impose her will by using violence on anybody. Yet women get away with it all the time. So in this circumstance here, I called the police to get the police out there. I said, I don't know who these people are, but I could hear a woman abusing a man, threatening the man, trying to impose a will on this man, and threatening, saying that some other guy's going to come and get him. And what I recommend for you guys out there is whenever you see a man and a woman arguing, stand still and see them as equals and see who's the aggressive one, who's trying to impose their will on the other person, who's the one that's being more violent. And literally 99.9% of the time, especially whenever you see this in public or anywhere, it is almost always the woman that is the violent one. And if you're one of those white knight men that like to jump in and protect women, I think you need to understand that you're part of the problem. You're backing a criminal if you back the violent offender. And so what I did there was obviously call the police because she was violent. She was threatening him. She was abusive. I had the two neighbors as witnesses as well. And I think that's what I did. And What's this? Oh, there we go. There's a comment right there. A friend of mine put up with years of domestic violence and no one will listen to him. So there you go. Women, if the woman wants to attack a man just because she doesn't like him, she can attack, abuse, impose her will on him, force him to move, force him to do something. Get up. Like she's some sort of a slave driver and us men are the slaves. But to make things worse, it's always enforced by other men that are white knights. It is disgusting. And I'd like to just, hope that you guys don't do that. Never back these women. Sit back and look first and say, is he really the person in the wrong? Because most of the time it's the woman, especially today. You look at that Brittany Higgins, there's absolutely no way she was a victim, in my opinion. I don't believe that she was a victim at all. She got a massive payout. No one was found guilty. There was no evidence to lock this person up. And that brings me over to the final one here, which is beautiful. This is beautiful. Can you guys see this here? I updated my will from prison. I'll be donating 100 million to start a charity to protect men from false accusations. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is putting his money where his mouth is. This is awesome. I think more needs to be said about this. I need some of this beautiful tea. I got myself some nice tea. It's late here too. It's 1 a.m. Also, this channel has been censored. Google has censored this channel. YouTube has put a massive shadow ban on this channel. So the majority of people aren't seeing, none of the subscribers are seeing when I upload videos, nothing. This tea is, I have chamomile tea and chai tea mixed together. I got 3 bags of them and honey. And it's late. I'm trying to get some sleep. So having some tea before sleep is a good idea. But this is kind of breaking news. I probably should have put that in the title. Maybe can I edit that? Can I even edit the title? I need to change that title. Beautiful. I put Andrew Tate in the title. So I think Andrew Tate, obviously, I'm not sure if you guys have been following this. I have been following this. These guys got arrested at home. There were no charges. They were just told, oh, look, these guys are possible sex trafficking charges or something, possible something or other. So they impounded their cars, stole their money. They put them in jail for 30 days without any charge. They spent 30 days searching for evidence. While doing that, my understanding is that they stole a whole bunch of money. They stole $300,000 worth of Bitcoin. They stole cash. They stole goods. They stole their cars. And not to mention the legal fees. And they couldn't find any evidence on the Tate brothers. So what they've done is they've put them in for another 30 days without any charge. So these guys have been in jail for almost 2 months without any charges, without any evidence. No evidence they've even done anything wrong. They haven't found anything. They've searched everything. And these guys are still in jail. So he's still able to get messages out. And Andrew Tate has told whoever's running his Twitter at the moment that he's going to donate $100 million to fight against false accusations against men. This is great news. Actually, hang on. I want to change the title again. Sorry about that. There we go. That's a better title. So that's exactly right. He is. They have to be innocent. And what do I think of the Chinese balloon? I think the fact that a spy balloon was able to go over the United States without the United States, without the United States even really knowing, this Chinese spy balloon went over the entire country. I think one thing the United States and the people who believe that the West is invincible don't understand is that no one's ever really come after us. In over 100 years, well, since the Japanese had a crack, almost 100 years since the Japanese tried to mess around, no one's come after the West. And until that day happens, we don't know how weak we are. And I would like to say that we are far weaker than anyone could imagine. And if the East pressed the West, I think we would fold far easier than the East could ever imagine too. So, yeah, there we go. Look at this. Look at this insanity. Yeah, false claims. Women making false claims for monetary profit, just like this Brittany Higgins. I can't believe that she got a payout. Can't believe that. And I can't believe Andrew Tate's out here in jail when, they can't find any evidence against him. I think this is the Nelson Mandela story, the hero's arc of redemption. I think the Tate brothers going to jail, I think the Romanian government is kind of helping out their story, because forevermore, the Tate brothers will be able to tell the story that they got locked up in jail without any charges because the Matrix came after them. And all they were doing was speaking out against authoritarianism. This is the hero's arc of redemption. You get locked up, something bad happens to you, and like the phoenix, you come out bigger and better and stronger than ever. And I think this is going to help these guys. I think if anything, 60 days, if they can get out, hopefully they get out at the end of this next 30 days. I think they would be thankful for the story. This goes into a book. This is a, overcoming adversity story for them. But for you guys, that's what I wanted to talk about. If any of you want to come on for a chat, you can click on that link. Otherwise, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover so far. Chamomile chai honey tea. That's exactly right. I didn't know how strong I was, or how mentally strong I could be until I had both my legs cut off and had the world shit on me. I think going to jail for a couple of months isn't that bad, and hopefully the guys get out. And I think they will be a force for good when they get out. $100 million towards fighting against false accusations. This is what we need. This is really what we need. But if no one wants to come on for a chat, I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to try and make these a little bit more compact. I'm getting a little bit better at them. I kind of understand how the stream works now. But yeah, if no one clicks that button, I'm going to end it now. Anyway, nice to speak to you guys. And if you're not getting notifications, YouTube doesn't like the content I've been putting out. So YouTube has heavily shadow banned me. And trust me, I don't play around with YouTube for as long as I have, and helped, I don't know, so many people build their own channels, and helped out so many other people, to not understand that YouTube did heavily censor this channel. So if people aren't getting notifications, it's because YouTube stepped in to smash me. It doesn't always stay on for a long time, but they're smashing me right now. So, hardly anyone's getting any notifications. But thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening. For you guys that actually saw that I was live. And maybe you can come on for a chat next time. Hang on, what's this? Last question. Last one. And then we're going. What do you mean converting into Latin country? You mean immigrants going into the United States? I'm not sure exactly what you mean there. There's always been people from Latin America immigrating to the United States. That's pretty much what Florida is. It's pretty much Spain, Spanish-speaking people, Latin people. Maybe if you formulate that question a better time, I'll be able to get to it next time I come on. But nice speaking to you guys. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover in this short video. I'm trying to make these a little bit more snappy and a little bit more concise, and get to the point a little bit easier. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next live stream. See you later.